Hey everyone. Okay, I'll say hello and then turn the lights off. So today is actually my birthday, and I'm 34. 34, I think I just dropped this. And I didn't do anything for my birthday. I don't really have friends or talk to people. Someone wished me happy birthday on Instagram. I said that it was going to be my birthday today on there. And then on the video that I released today, I also wrote that it was my birthday, and someone left a comment on that. And I got a different rear microphone, so when I'm talking like this, the audio should be a bit better now. And I'm drinking a blueberry protein powder and milk, frozen blueberries. They're kind of separated because this is the second glass that I had out of it, but that's good. So in the last video that I released, you guys saw a clip at the end of someone rear-ending my BMW M2. So I'm going to explain what happened with that and everything and play with my camera lens. So I was trying to make my shoes look like this. So I just edited them in GIMP, and yeah, they don't look anything like that because I want to use Sharpie, and I just ruined a set of brand new shoes. Also, what the hell, Nike? Like, these are two pairs of Nike shoes. Look at the size difference on that. And here's another Nike to compare. Why are these, like, I don't want to wear them because they're so tiny and make my feet look like baby girl feet. Alright guys, I have to finish this video because I just want to move on with my life and not talk about that. I'm kind of like procrastinating this because this is like in real life, in my whole life, this is over already, but in like my YouTube videos, this is like the ending of my last video. So I have to talk about this. So what happened was I'm sitting at home on my computer desk at like 3:15, I suppose it happened according to the camera. And I hear like a loud bang, and I look over at the cameras and I see like the blue car driving off. And I know, like, I've seen the car around before and everything like that. So I know that it's to someone in this area, in this neighborhood. I don't know which house that they go to. I thought that they went to my neighbors downstairs because whoa. Maybe I should tighten my camera lens. I would see like the car parked around here sometimes and then I'm walking into this driveway. But I didn't know if they went to the house next door. There's 2 apartments there, or if they went to the bottom floor of this house. I didn't know like what to do or anything. Or I did know what to do. I had to like wait for them to come back and get their license plate number and all that stuff. I looked at, after it happened, I went outside like immediately, looked at the bumper of the car, and I didn't see like any damage or anything. I was looking at the exhaust to see if the exhaust was bent or damaged or anything, and the bottom diffuser of the car. Later on that day, I reviewed the footage again and saw that where they hit me was a little bit higher. So during the day, I didn't see any damage or anything like that, or really know that there was any damage. Later that night or the next day, I went outside again and I cleaned off some of the dust, dirt that was on the car to get a better look at it. And there is like a small horizontal scuff on the car. It's not even like easy. I couldn't even pick it up on camera. I didn't use this camera to do it, but I tried with my phone and I can't really pick it up on camera, which means like if I go to court with it, it's going to be hard to prove damages to my car because you can't see it that well. You can only see it with your eyes. Also, the car is covered in Expel, which is like a clear wrap for the car, and it would cost like maybe $200 to replace the Expel on the car as opposed to having the bumper sanded and repainted and everything like that. So the other thoughts that were going through my mind is like, all right, so I don't know who these people are. I need to, like, I don't have a license plate number or anything like that. I know like what type of car it is. There's this website I went online to figure out the exact year car it was. So it's a 2005 or 2006 Nissan Sentra. And the reason that I know that it's a 2005 or 2006 is because those are the only years that that model was sold in that color blue. But other than that, I didn't have a license plate. But I knew that they come around to to the area and everything because I've seen the car around here before. So my only option would be to stake out the place and wait for them to come back and get their license plate after that. And other people would like try to talk to them or whatever, and like accuse them and yell at them and whatever. Next time that they see them, like, what the fuck did you do to my car? You hit and run and didn't leave a note or whatever. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to cause like a confrontation or anything, because then what if they like run? What if they get scared because they don't want to pay to have the damages fixed and whatever? What if they're afraid of getting a hit and run charge and all this other extra stuff? I didn't want to spook them and run, and them to run. And also, if they had any previous convictions or drug charges or warrants out for their arrest, if I get the police involved and everything like that, then that would bring up that stuff on top of it, which would make them like skip court or whatever. So I had like that stuff on my mind. I didn't want to make anything worse for them. I just wanted like the money for my car. So anyway, the nighttime comes, and I think that night I didn't see them. Then the next night I walk out, and I've been leaving through my back door because the door downstairs, so this door here comes from that door there, and I don't want to go there because the coronavirus and everything, that's like a shared doorknob and I don't want to touch it or whatever. So I leave through my back door and I come through this driveway here, and I just walk and I go to my car. Actually, I think I can find it on the camera. Yeah, so at 9:02, that's me leaving, getting into my BMW. You'll actually notice, so that's me in my car. You'll notice the car is parked right here, but I didn't even notice that. So I get into my car, and shortly after, let's see if I can get this on both screens. So I have my car started now, and then I see people walking right here. So I'm looking through my rear view mirror, and then I look in my rear view mirror and I'm like, oh shit, that's the car. That's the car that hit me. So now I'm thinking like what to do. I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to pull up next to them and confront them. So as I do that, I'm thinking like, all right, I don't want to confront them because what if they get scared and run off? And then like me facing like an opposite direction of them, I would have to like turn around and they might escape by then, so I wouldn't be able to get their license plate. So then I turn into the parking lot down here, and I'm like, all right, I'll get behind them. So I was like, all right, I'll get behind them. And when I'm behind them, then I can get their license plate or whatever. So the way that they went was down at this road down here. And the problem is they went to make a left at the end of this road. And there's always like a decent amount of traffic at the end of the road here. So I was afraid if I followed them that they could have got out into traffic and I would have been stuck at the corner waiting for traffic to go by and everything. So what I did, I went around the block the other way and came out on the other side and cut them off on the end of the road, or didn't cut them off, got behind them on the end of the road from where they were going. So I got like right behind them and was able to snag this video. So now I was able to get their license plate or whatever. So then I start following them, and I follow them like a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, why am I following these people? I don't need to follow them. I don't need to confront them or whatever. It might just make them suspicious even more and run and cause like a hassle or a hard time or whatever. So I stopped following them and I went back to my house. Then they actually ended up coming back to my house. And while I'm at home, I'm thinking like in court, what if they're like, oh, what if the judge is like, oh, you just saw that car on the street. How do you know it's the car that was at your house? How do you know that you just didn't run into another Nissan Sentra on the street and think it was the one that was at your house? So they ended up coming back to my house at night, and I walked out to my house and got this video of them at my house. So you can make out their license plate here, but there's their car, and then you'll see, like, you know that that's at my house. as the street and everything. So now that I had all the evidence, I did think, like, how do I want to approach this? Like, what am I going to do? What I decided to do was, the damage isn't that bad. It was an accident. It's might be hard to prove in court. So I decided just to let it slide. But I want them to know that I have cameras and that they can't do a hit and run and whatever, because they will get caught. And I want them to be more careful and everything like that. So I asked I'm still thinking that it's my downstairs neighbor's friends or whatever. So I asked my neighbor if he knew who they were or whatever. He's like, yeah, they go to the other house, the house next door. So I wrote this up in an email last night to give myself a note on, I don't know, so I decided to write them a note or whatever. And this is still like a draft of the note, and I didn't give it to them or put it in their mailbox yet or anything. But it says, like, hey, it's Anthony with the gray BMW. Look, I know you guys rear-ended my car and drove off. Didn't check to see if everything was okay. Didn't leave a note, nothing. Left me to deal with your mistake on my own and wasted my time having to track you down. I have the entire thing on tape and have your license plate number. So I'll attach pictures in this letter so that they see that I'm actually telling the truth. I was really worried about the exhaust was bent or the bumper was cracked, but luckily there is only a small scuff that I'm not going to worry about. The car is covered in Expel, which is a clear wrap, so the paint wasn't damaged and the scuff is hard to see. However, please be more careful. If this happens again, I'm not putting this on my insurance and having my rates go up. And it really shouldn't be my responsibility for my insurance company to cover someone else's fault if I can prove that they're wrong and my insurance rates to go up and everything. I had my Saab someone hit my Saab and like knocked the mirror off during the summer, and the guy, I had it all on video and found out who did it, and the guy's like, you can't put it on your insurance. And I'm like, no, you did the damage, you pay for it. So anyway, the rest of the letter, where I leave off, I'm like, I'm not putting it on my insurance and having my rates go up. I will ask the person who did it to pay. If that doesn't work, then I will get the police and courts involved. So that should accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish with them knowing that I had it on camera and that they can't do that shit. I don't believe in the police. I don't like getting the police involved in anything because, one, the police would just make things worse. Like I said, if I file a police report and they go and investigate this car, and if these people had like traffic citations or warrants out for their arrests or drugs on them, they would just be running from the cops. So there's that. There's also like, I don't want my tax money going to pay police. I would rather have people learn how to deal with solving their own conflicts on like themselves instead of getting the police involved in everything. So I try my best to resolve conflict on my own instead of resorting to the police and everything. The police is always like a last resort for me, which I guess I was thinking about this the other day, like that Aubrey Avery case or whatever, where the black guy got shot by the guys or whatever. That guy, the black guy, was breaking into houses in the construction site and everything. Like, there's video evidence of it happening at least 6 times. There's video footage of the guy in this house. And there's also the people, the construction team who own the house, reporting that stuff was stolen for the last couple months from the house, like construction tools and everything. And that's why they ended up putting the cameras up in the house. If I was in that situation, if I was the guys trying to protect the neighborhood and whatever, I would wait for the guy to come back and say like, hey, we have you on tape. Don't come back here. Like scare the guy so he knows. Because all you're really trying to accomplish is keeping your neighborhood safe. I don't really care about all the vengeance stuff or whatever, getting them back and making sure the guy pays for what he's done or whatever. I would just want to make sure my neighborhood and my property is safe and all that. I would just wait until the guy comes back, because just a person doesn't have identification on them. They don't have a license plate on their body or anything like that. All you can do is wait for the person to come back and say like, hey, we know who you are. We know what you're doing or whatever. you're not getting away with this, like, don't do this or whatever, like scare them so that they don't come back. The problem is that this guy got killed because, yes, I think like so these white guys did everything perfectly legally. Everything that they did, citizens arrest and owning guns and all that stuff, is all perfectly legal in the Georgia law. Just that the way that I would have handled it would have been differently. The reason the black guy got shot is because he charged at the guy with the gun and tried to punch him and steal the gun from him. And what's going to happen in that situation is you're going to get shot because the person holding the gun doesn't want his gun stolen from him. And because once your gun's stolen from you, then how do you know that the person who stole it isn't going to turn it around on you and shoot you? So you don't charge at someone with a gun. You don't try to fight them and steal their gun from them and everything like that. That's why he was shot and killed and all that. Yeah, I was just saying about that, and this video is finally over. Now I have to edit it, and I give myself way too much work all the time, and it makes me not want to do any of it.